What if I told you the Cleveland Browns are sitting on a quarterback controversy that could define the next 5 years of this franchise? And what if I told you that the answer might not be who you think it is? Stay with me, because what's happening in Berea right now is way more interesting than most people realize. Let me paint you a picture. It's week 5. The Browns are struggling. The veteran they brought in to steady the ship has already been benched. And suddenly, a third-round rookie out of Oregon named Dillon Gabriel gets thrown into the fire against the Minnesota Vikings. No warning, no easing into it, just straight into the deep end of the NFL pool. And you know what? The kid didn't drown. In fact, he's been treading water pretty damn well ever since. 3 starts. 3 legitimate NFL starts for a rookie who most people thought would be holding a clipboard all season. And in those 3 games, Gabriel has done something that veteran quarterbacks around this league struggle to do. He's protected the football. 0 interceptions. Let me say that again for the people in the back. 0 picks. Meanwhile, he's completing nearly 60% of his passes, throwing for over 500 yards, and tossing 3 touchdowns. But here's the stat that really matters. In Week 7, he walked into that stadium and absolutely demolished the Miami Dolphins 31-6. That wasn't just a win. That was a statement game. That was a rookie quarterback telling the entire AFC North that he's not here to participate, he's here to compete. Now, before you start printing the Gabriel jersey and planning the Super Bowl parade, let's pump the brakes for just a second. Because there's another name lurking in the shadows of this quarterback room. A name that's been whispered about in draft circles and college football broadcasts for months. Shedeur Sanders. 5th-round pick. Son of a legend. And right now, he's running scout team reps while Gabriel gets all the first-team action. The question everyone's asking is simple. How long does that last? Kevin Stefanski, the head coach who's trying to navigate this situation like he's walking a tightrope over Lake Erie, recently addressed this exact question. And his answer was textbook coach speak, but if you read between the lines, it's actually pretty revealing. He said Gabriel needs those first-team reps to develop, to build confidence, to get the timing down with his receivers. Translation: we're invested in this kid right now. Sanders is getting his work in with the second team, learning the system, staying ready. But make no mistake, this is Dillon Gabriel's show at the moment. But here's where it gets really fascinating. The Browns are sitting at 2-5. Not great. Not terrible for a team that's clearly rebuilding on the fly. And that record is doing something interesting to fan base. It's creating this split. Half the stadium wants to see what Gabriel can become if you give him a full season of reps and let him grow through his mistakes. The other half is already looking at Sanders and wondering if the future face of the franchise is standing on the sideline right now, just waiting for his moment. Both sides have a point. Both sides are probably right in their own way. Let's talk about what Gabriel has shown us so far, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Yeah, he's thrown 0 picks. That's fantastic. But he's also been sacked 10 times in 3 games. 10 times. That's not all on him. The offensive line is young. They're inconsistent. They're trying to figure out how to protect a quarterback who's still learning when to get rid of the ball and when to trust his legs. But those 10 sacks tell us something important. This offense is still a work in progress. The Browns are ranked near the bottom in almost every major offensive category this year. That's not just a quarterback problem. That's a system problem. That's a talent problem. That's a cohesion problem. And Gabriel is trying to navigate all of it as a rookie. So what does that mean for Sanders? Well, it means he's getting a gift that most rookie quarterbacks never get. Time. Time to learn the playbook without the pressure of performing on Sundays. Time to watch Gabriel make mistakes and learn from them without it showing up on his stat sheet. Time to develop without the weight of a struggling franchise on his shoulders. That's actually valuable. More valuable than people realize. Because when his number does get called, and trust me, at some point it will, he'll be ready in ways that most rookies aren't. Now let's talk about what's coming next, because Week 8 is going to tell us a lot. The Browns are heading to Gillette Stadium to face the New England Patriots. And if you haven't been paying attention, the Patriots are hot right now. For straight wins. Drake May is playing like a completely different quarterback than the guy we saw early in the season. The defense is flying around making plays. And the Browns are walking into their house trying to snap that streak. This is the exact kind of game where young quarterbacks either take a massive step forward or get humbled real quick. Gabriel's going to face pressure. He's going to face disguised coverages. He's going to face a coaching staff that's going to try to confuse him and make him beat them with his arm. This is where we find out if the kid is for real or if he's just been riding the wave of low expectations. But here's the thing that's keeping me up at night as a Browns fan. What happens if Gabriel struggles against New England? What happens if he throws a couple of picks, takes 5 or 6 sacks, and the offense looks completely out of sync? Does Stefanski stick with him through the growing pains? Or does the pressure from the fan base and the front office push him to make a change? Because once you pull Gabriel and put Sanders in, you can't really go back without creating a full-blown circus. Quarterback controversies in Cleveland aren't new. We've lived through more of them than any fan base should have to endure. But this one feels different because both of these guys have legitimate upside. Both of them could be the answer. And figuring out which one to commit to might be the most important decision this organization makes all decade. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture, because that's what really matters here. The Browns are in year one of what could be a 3 or 4 year rebuild, even though nobody wants to say that word out loud. They've got young pieces. They've got draft capital. They've got a coaching staff that's proven they can develop talent when given time. But the quarterback position is the foundation everything else is built on. Get that wrong, and it doesn't matter how good your defense is or how many weapons you add at receiver. Get it right, and suddenly you're competing for division titles and playoff spots. That's the stakes we're talking about right now. So where does that leave us? Gabriel is the starter. He's earned that through his performance, his poise, and his ability to protect the football. Sanders is the heir apparent, the guy with the pedigree and the potential that made the Browns spend a pick on him in the first place. And somewhere in between those two realities is the future of this franchise. The beauty of it is that we don't have to figure it out today. We get to watch it unfold week by week, drive by drive, throw by throw. And honestly, that's what makes this season worth watching even if the wins aren't piling up the way we hoped. If you've stuck with me this long, do me a favor. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and make sure you're following Browns Breakout for every single update on this quarterback situation as it develops. Because trust me, this story is just getting started. We've got 9 games left in the regular season. That's 9 more chances for Gabriel to prove he's the guy. 9 more chances for Sanders to push for playing time. 9 more chances for this coaching staff to figure out what they really have in that quarterback room. The Browns might be 2-5 right now, but the future? The future is wide open. And whether that future belongs to Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, or someone we haven't even considered yet, one thing's for sure. Cleveland Browns football is about to get real interesting. So buckle up, stay locked in, and let's see where this ride takes us. Because at the end of the day, we're all chasing the same thing. A championship, a quarterback who can get us there, and a team that finally lives up to the potential this city deserves.